Question. What's the earliest recollection that you have of your life? How old were you in the events that you remember as earliest?
Hey, we're so happy that you were born. Hooray, hooray, hooray.
Hello everyone, welcome to my video today. This is Christy's World and I'm grateful that you decided to click on this video. So, what is the earliest recollection of your life experiences? Comment in the comment section below and tell us what you remember as the earliest occurrence. Something that you remember yourself, not what you were told by your parents or your aunties or older siblings, but what you yourself remember. Guess what? Guess what? I am celebrating my 33rd birthday. Yes, it's unbelievable. I am now 33 years old and my birthday is 14th January. So, in this video, I want to talk about things that I've learned in the past year. And I would also include some of the things that I've learned in my lifetime. So, have you answered the question that I asked first? So, sir, I'll go first. My first recollection is when I was 5 years old. Like, I literally cannot even remember anything that happened before I was 5. And the first experience that I remember is, and my sister is always laughing at me about it. There was a day that I was 5 years old and in nursery school, and I was staying with my grandma. We were staying with my grandma because at that point my mom had left for college for 2 years. So for those 2 years, I was my sister and my brother were left with my aunties who used to live already, who used to live with my grandma, like that one big homestead. So we used to live there until when my mom finished college and we just moved back to our own lives. So I remember I was in nursery school and one of my aunties, the ones that we used to live with, was our teacher. And on this particular day, when I was little, I was a bit naughty, by the way. Don't let any kind of innocence fool you. I was this naughty little girl. So I remember refusing to go to school on that day, and I hid myself, so I didn't go to school. I was left at home, and then I went and I started playing later on in the day. I went and I took a sack, these old sacks, in the homestead, and then nikaingia ndani. And then there was a place we used to roll from, in the compound. There's it was slopey like this, so there's a place we used to roll from top to bottom. It wasn't really like sharp slopey, but it was a bit, you can roll, but it was grass. It was all grass. So I entered into the sack, my whole body into the sack, and I climbed at the top of that slopey side of the compound, and I rolled. I started rolling, laughing, enjoying because I'm playing. Only to reach the bottom, and I started itching. Got out of the sack so fast, and guess what? My whole head, I had hair, not long, but it was, a full head of hair. My whole head was full of these, what do you call them? These small insects that really bite. They're not even insects. The giri. I don't. I'll put the word somewhere in the screen when I remember the name. And they usually bite. Those small, tiny, small, crawling things bite. And they were full in my head. So you can imagine that was quite an experience, because obviously that is something that you can't forget ever. Now everyone came. I was crying, shouting, scratching myself. Everyone came and took me and washed me. They had to wash me, and then they shaved my hair, and that is how I was able to get. That is how I saved myself. And what I learned from that, now everyone was like, you see, now that is the consequence of not going to school, because you hid yourself today, started crying, saying you don't want to go to school. So that was like a punishment from above for refusing to go to school. So that was quite an experience. And I was 5 years. I can't remember anything happening before, or before that, when I was younger. And the rest of the experiences that I remember are now 6, 7, 8, up to where I am right now. I would love to hear everyone's experience in the comment section, so please remember to comment. Let me say that my last birthday, that second birthday, I think I'm going to leave some, to put up some photos from my last birthday. That birthday, I had an small intimate party for my friends and family, with my friends and family, and it was really a lovely evening. But this birthday, I'll just celebrate it with my family, because I'm actually meeting part of my family on Saturday, tomorrow. I'm shooting this video on Friday, so I'm meeting them tomorrow, and we will just have nice lunch and also do the other things that we were supposed to do on that same day. So it's coinciding with something else that we had scheduled to do. The other thing that I've done for myself this birthday is I have done a photo shoot. I'm also going to, loop in some photos here and there from the shoots, which I'm really, I loved it. It was a nice feeling to just go and, it's like self-care to just go and have a bit of photo shoot. So the first big lesson that I've learned in the past maybe 2 or 3 years is in leadership. So being in, no leadership is small. Even if you're leading a family, that is leadership. If you're leading a small group, even if it's a chama, that's leadership. And that is where we start from. So myself, I would say that I've learned lessons from leadership, and in this particular one, it is a leadership of a youth group. Being in leadership in that capacity has really helped me to grow up, to take responsibilities head on, and I don't even regret. Every experience that we have in life teaches us something. I have learned that, first of all, not everyone is cut out for leadership, for sure, because it takes a lot of commitment, and it takes quite a lot. And also you're leading people, so you need to be in the right mindset. Even when everyone else is not, yourself is supposed to be in that, to be the one now leading and, directing things and seeing, and just making things happen, things that people would easily, like give up on. So I'm sure people who've been in leadership understand this. But my point was, being in leadership has taught me to how to tolerate and deal with different kinds of people, and that is actually, let me call it patience. That is a virtue that I never had before. My patience has been, like forced, like it has come with maybe age, and I attribute a lot of it, a big chunk of it, to being in leadership, because you've got to be patient with people. You've got to keep on like taking one for the team, like taking up for the team. You've got to understand different types of people, how they relate to you and to other maybe team members, how to not let these things even overwhelm you as a person, because people will always be different. So I never used to I didn't have patience for people. Honestly, I had zero patience with people, like zero tolerance. So, but you know what? You're in leadership and you're supposed to lead all kinds of people. So you gotta have to take them as they are, deal with the different personalities as they are, and also not let it get into you. That's the most important part, not letting it get into you, because at first it used to get into me. And then over time, I came to learn how to separate, my emotions and like don't let it overwhelm me, not letting it overwhelm me or get into me. Like I stop taking it in any personal way, even if someone does something that is I would feel attacked, or it's something that I feel would demoralize me. I just looked at the bigger purpose and I learned to ignore now the side shows. So that is one thing I really attribute to leadership, and I'm grateful for. It has shaped me as a person, and I'm sure even in the future I'll be able to deal with the similar circumstances and experiences in a more, patient way, and, in a better way that I wouldn't have 3 years ago. Second thing, big thing that I've learned in the past year, this one is in the past year actually, is that long-term friendships end, and it hurts. It hurts like just like a relationship. It hurts like a breakup of a relationship. I had a long-term friendship that ended, and ended for, it's an accumulation of reasons. Let's say it's always ending. An end is always like it's a process until the end comes. So I would say that you should be able to mourn even friendships for you to be able to move forward. Things happen for a reason. There's a reason that certain people are removed from your life, or certain people come into your life for a reason. So I would say that enjoy every moment, make it count, because nothing is permanent. People come and go. Even marriages literally end. Long-term marriages end. It was a friendship that I actually thought would last a lifetime, but unfortunately it ended. So that was really, when I thought about it later, I was like, wow, this is deep. Long-term friendships can end, even friendships that you thought would last a lifetime. And you need to just mourn it, just like a breakup, or like the loss of someone dear, or someone that you loved, but maybe you just can't be in their lives anymore. So yeah, it happens. The third thing that I've learned in the past year, or maybe even before, that you owe yourself happiness. Like, you owe yourself a life. You don't peg your happiness on anyone, a spouse, a friend, a family member, or any circumstance. You owe yourself to be happy. So that is I know it's cliche, because of course it's something that is said quite often, but in real sense I've really become more intentional with creating my happiness in my own terms, and without necessarily relying on someone to give me the happiness. So I realized that if you expect people, like if you have so much expectations of people, especially these apply, especially like in marriage, or people you're close with, or friends, you'll be disappointed. You'll keep on getting disappointed. But it's because, if you introspect, it's because you have actually pegged your happiness, or you have so much expectations for your happiness pegged on that other person or people. So you'll keep getting disappointed. So I have become more intentional with taking charge of my own, my happiness and my life, doing things, getting up and doing things that are geared towards my happiness. And I'll let the person or other people around me join me if they so wish. And it's freedom. I'm telling you, that is freedom. When you just do things that make you happy without necessarily waiting for someone to maybe approve, your spouse to approve, your sister to approve, your best friend to approve. It's freedom. That's what I call freedom. So let's just say creating own happiness is freedom. Well, if other people decide to make you happy, it will just come. And when you're happy and you are your own person, doing new and doing things that build you or make you happy, other people just automatically join. You know, it's also there's something attractive about it. So even those other people that you had expectations on will just, you know, join you slowly. So yeah, comment down below if you have experienced that firsthand, if you think, if you've taken intentional steps to create your own happiness without necessarily pegging it on anyone. I mean no one around you. Okay, the fourth thing that I've learned for, I would say for maybe as long as I've been in business, almost as long as, because the first years I didn't I didn't see this point as it is that every year in business, or even maybe for those in the corporate world, in your career, you know, leads to growth. For most people, I'd say it is compounded growth that you may not even see, but later when you look back, you see it. It's just like basically even in life, you know, it's a process. So when you're going through the process, you don't necessarily see it that yes, I'm going through the process, but when you look back later, you see how the process has been. So I would say that being like in business, the experiences that you gather, the bitter, the painful experiences, the good ones, all the things that you learn along the way are what makes you a pro. That's why maybe you hear people say a seasoned politician, a seasoned business, you know, business woman, you know, a seasoned. Maybe to be more practical, things that used to overwhelm me in my first years of doing business no longer overwhelm me. And when I look back, I realized that I'm doing business at more ease now than before. Before I used to like, it was like full-time work that I'm doing, work. I just used to feel like it every minute I'm thinking about it, everything I'm doing is, you know, like it was like work. But over time, I don't know if it maybe someone can help me. Over time, I've found myself that feeling that is just part of my life, one part of my life, and I have other parts of my life that I'm also doing and living. So I would say it is that, you know, it's like the seasoning. So at first you may not know you're going through it, but over time the things that you learn, the, you know, the skills and all that, and the small tricks here and there that you learn compound into, you know, making you a better person at what you're doing. And now to my fifth thing, which is my last thing, because I don't want this video to be too long. It is my last thing of the top 5 things that I've learned, is that for myself now, since I hit 30, I'd say that, you know, more is required of me, you know, more responsibility, even from the society, from, you know, the adulting thing, and also for myself. You feel under more pressure to now, you know, achieve, make it, you know, like you know, it's like there's a clock, like uko na timeline, there's this time that I want to have done this and this by this time, and maybe the 30, you know, that years rings that bell in your mind. So I've also realized that it's like, of course, the cost of living has gone up, but the budget that I would survive on, let me say 6-7 years ago, is a quarter of what right now I'm able to survive on. So things have really changed, and it's not necessarily an age thing, it's also part of it. But I've realized that over time I need to, you know, I need to earn more, to make more. It's quite, you know, it's a lot, it's quite a pressure, it's a good amount of pressure. And now more than ever, I'm very open to like multiple sources of income. Anything that I can do that can make me something, I don't what do I call it, I don't necessarily sichagui sana, especially if it's in, you know, in the retail thing that I know how to do, I just go for it. I you know, I've learned that at the end of it all, we need to make a living, to earn a living, to be able to, to feel more at peace, and really the cost of living has really gone up. And now in my 30s, I feel like I'm under so much pressure to be able to make, to be able to earn better, to earn more, and to, be able to do more things. It's a lot. Yeah, I don't even want to think about. I'm already feeling overwhelmed by that thought alone. But yeah, I hope you get my point that I've, I've realized that over time you need to make more. Let's put it as simple. Over time, you need to make more. When I was 25, I never even cared. By the time I hit 30, by the time I started doing business when I was 27, and by the time I hit 30, that's when I realized, hey, now I need to get serious. I need to also find other ways of doing things, and so many things, so many, things that you learn along the way. And let me just hope that with time things are going to easen up and we will have figured out our lives. So that is all for this video today. Of course, there is so much more that I'd love to talk about, but stay tuned. I'll still talk about it in the subsequent sit down videos. If you've watched this video up to this point, thank you so much. That is a birthday gift to me. That is all for today, and I'll see you in the next video. For now, from me to you, it's a bye.
We're so happy to say, we're so happy that you were born. Hooray, 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 today's your day. We're so happy to say,